The group of young men keep their attention on Maya. At first, it's small comments and quiet chuckles, but soon their voices grow louder. One of them copies the way her hands move, twisting his fingers in the air while the others laugh. Another clutches his stomach, acting like it's the funniest thing he has ever seen. The sound of their laughter fills the restaurant, bouncing off the walls, growing harsher with every second. Maya tries to ignore it, but her chest feels tight and her eyes sting. She keeps her head down, hoping if she stays quiet they will stop. But they don't stop. They keep pushing, enjoying the way their cruelty draws attention. Other people in the restaurant notice what's happening. A man at a corner table glances over, then quickly looks back at his plate. A woman fidgets with her napkin, clearly uncomfortable but saying nothing. Parents with children lower their eyes, pretending not to hear. Everyone knows it's wrong, but no one is willing to step in. The silence from the room feels heavy, and that silence makes the laughter of the bullies sound even louder. For Maya, it's not just the noise, it's the feeling of being exposed, surrounded, with no one willing to defend her. She presses her hands together in her lap, trembling, wishing she could vanish into the background. In that moment, she feels completely alone. The story begins inside a small restaurant on an ordinary morning. The place is warm and lively, filled with the smell of fresh food and the sound of dishes clinking together. Families are laughing, friends are talking, and everything feels normal, at least for most people. Sitting by the window is a young girl in a wheelchair. She's quiet, trying to focus on the menu, hoping this morning will be like any other. But her peace doesn't last. A group of young men in green jackets notice her and begin to mock her. They whisper loudly, copy the way her hands move, and burst into laughter. The noise grows, sharp and cruel, cutting into her confidence. Maya feels her face heat up. She lowers her head, staring at the table, wishing she could disappear. Around the room, people notice what's happening. Some look away, uncomfortable, while others shift uneasily in their seats. But no one says a word. The silence from everyone else makes the laughter even louder, and Maya feels smaller with every second. Then, the door opens and the sound of a bell cuts through the noise. A man steps inside, and the entire room seems to pause. He isn't just another customer, his presence changes the air. He has long hair, tattoos running down his arms, and a leather vest with the bold insignia of the Hells Angels. His boots hit the floor with steady weight as he walks, not rushing, not smiling. He doesn't need to. His eyes scan the room, and in seconds he understands what's happening. He sees Maya, head bowed, fists clenched in her lap. He sees the group of men laughing at her pain. And in that moment, he makes a decision. He doesn't order food. He doesn't greet anyone. Instead, he heads straight for the table where the cruelty began. The chatter fades, the laughter dies, and a heavy silence falls over the restaurant. Everyone can feel it, something is about to change. Just when the laughter seems like it will never end, the door of the restaurant opens. The small bell above it jingles, and the sound cuts through the noise. Heads turn almost on their own, and the room grows quiet. A man steps inside, and instantly the air feels different. He isn't smiling, he isn't in a hurry, but his presence is heavy, like everyone knows he doesn't need to say much to be noticed. His hair brushes past his shoulders, his arms are covered in tattoos, and across his chest is a black leather vest with the bold patch of the Hells Angels. Each step of his boots echoes against the floor, slow and steady. He doesn't look at the menu. He doesn't greet the staff. His sharp eyes scan the room once, and he sees it all. Maya sitting by the window, head down, fists tight in her lap. The group of men across from her, still snickering and pointing. His jaw hardens. Without hesitation, he begins to walk straight toward them. Conversations fade, chairs stop moving, even the clinking of dishes seems to die down. The room knows something is about to happen. The men who were laughing a moment ago glance at each other, their smiles fading as the biker draws closer. The biker stops right beside Maya's table. For a moment, he doesn't say a single word. He just stands there, tall and steady, his shoulders forming a wall between her and the men across the aisle. Maya looks up, startled, her breath catching in her chest. For the first time that morning, she feels a shield around her, as if his presence alone is enough to keep the cruelty away. The bullies shift in their seats, their laughter stumbling into an uneasy silence. One of them tries to chuckle, but the sound dies when the biker's eyes lock on him. The weight of his stare is enough to strip away their false confidence. The room grows even quieter, thick with tension. Every person in the restaurant can feel it. The men in green jackets, who only moments ago were loud and bold, suddenly look small and unsure. No one dares to move. The only sound left is the steady beat of boots against the floor as the biker plants himself firmly in place, unmoving, unshaken, making it clear that he isn't going anywhere until this stops. The biker finally breaks the silence. His voice is low and rough, steady in a way that makes every word land heavy. He stares straight at the group of men and says, "You think you're tough, picking on someone already fighting battles you can't even imagine?" No one answers. Their smirks are gone, and the boldness they had a moment ago drains from their faces. The biker steps closer, his eyes sharp and unyielding. "You think it makes you strong to laugh at her? Strength isn't in cruelty. Strength is standing tall when life tries to break you." His words cut through the room like steel, leaving no space for laughter. The men shift in their chairs, restless and ashamed. One glances down at the floor, another swallows hard, their bravado gone. The biker doesn't shout, he doesn't need to. His calm, controlled tone carries more power than any raised voice ever could. He leans in slightly, speaking low but clear enough for everyone to hear. "You ever laugh at her again, or at anyone like her, and you'll answer to me. Understand?" The warning hangs in the air, heavy and final. The group nods quickly, muttering weak responses. The message is clear, they are finished. After making his point to the bullies, the biker turns back to Maya. He bends slightly so that his eyes meet hers, and for the first time his rough face softens. His voice, once sharp and heavy, now carries warmth. "Don't let people like that get to you," he says gently. "You're stronger than they'll ever be." Maya's hands still tremble, but this time it isn't from fear. Her chest feels lighter, her eyes wide with surprise. For so long she has been used to stares, whispers, and silence from strangers, but here was someone standing for her without hesitation. She doesn't know what to say. Her lips part, but no words come out, only a small nod as her throat tightens with emotion. Around them, the diners begin to clap, not loud or rushed, but steady and respectful. It isn't pity, it's admiration. The sound grows, filling the room with something far stronger than the laughter that had come before. The bullies slip out quietly, their heads lowered, while Maya sits taller in her chair, her heart racing not with shame, but with a new kind of strength. The biker doesn't stay long after that. He walks to the counter, places a few bills down for his coffee, and doesn't even wait for change. Before leaving, he turns his head slightly and gives Maya one last nod, a quiet sign of respect. She holds his gaze, clutching the moment like a treasure she knows she will never forget. The restaurant slowly returns to life, but something feels different now. People look at Maya in a new way, not with pity, but with respect. And Maya herself feels different too. She sits a little taller in her chair, her heart steady, no longer weighed down by the shame that burned her earlier. That morning will stay with her forever, not because of the cruel laughter, but because of the moment one man decided enough was enough. With nothing more than his presence and his courage, he silenced a room full of cruelty and gave her back her dignity. From that day on, Maya carried the memory with her. The reminder that even in a world with cruel voices, there are also protectors, and sometimes one act of courage is all it takes to change everything.